Hi, this is Rabbi Chaim Kaufman. Welcome to our 142nd installment of the Torah portion of the week. We are holding by Parshas Re'eh. Parshas Re'eh speaks about the blessing and the curse, speaks about sanctity of the land, a lot of interesting stuff over here. Talks about false prophets, talks about others who cause others to go astray, wayward city, permitted and forbidden food, second tithe. A lot of interesting things here. So the Torah here says, chapter 13, verse 9, but actually go to verse 7 first, and then we'll see verse 9. It says, if your brother, the son of your mother, or your son or your daughter, wife or your bosom, or your friend who is like your own soul will entice you secretly. They will entice you secretly, saying, let us go worship the God of others. You didn't know, you or your forefathers, from the gods of peoples that are around you, those near you, those far from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Our verse 9, again, chapter 13, verse 9, shall not exceed him, not hearken to him, your eyes shall not take pity on him, shall not be compassionate, nor conceal it. So we're talking about a maces, right? A maces is someone who causes another person to go after idolatry. So what does the Torah say? You don't have compassion on him. Right? You don't exceed him, you don't listen to him, you don't pity him, you're not compassionate, you don't conceal it. So someone who causes someone to go astray. Now over here, we're talking about idolatry. Specifically about idolatry. So you don't have mercy. Right? We're not going to be open-minded until our brains fall on the floor. You don't have mercy on such a person. He's causing people to go astray from the Torah. So Rashi says that if you know he's guilty, if you can give testimony against him, that's what you do. You don't be quiet. Right? You're not allowed to be quiet over here. You have to do whatever it takes to get him. Because of the damage that he does. Says the Chinuch, says the mitzvah, the Sefer HaChinuch. The Sefer HaChinuch is a book that was written according to each parsha. And each parsha has a mitzvah, and he goes through the different mitzvahs of each parsha, and the source of the mitzvah, the laws of the mitzvah, etc. So he says in mitzvah Tav Samich Aleph, 461, and he adds and he says like this: there's a mitzvah upon us to hate evil people, even by other transgressions. Right? It doesn't really matter. Right? If they're evil, right? If they're Rishoyim, there is a mitzvah to hate them. So we see why. Right? Says Moiv Rebbe, Arav Agon Moshe Moshlita should be well. Brings down in Tam V'das that because of their evil ways, their corrupted ways, they should be punished. Right? They should be severely punished. And there's no mitzvah. It's a transgression over here. Right? If you have testimony to give against them and you don't. I mean, in general, it's a transgression, just as a side point. Right? Someone knows something about, somebody, whatever. They could give testimony in court, and they don't. They decide they don't want to give testimony, whatever. So it's a big problem. Definitely a big problem. So there's no hope for them. Why? They're causing people to go astray. So we're not allowed to listen to them. Not only that, but we should embarrass them. We should mock them. We should make fun of them. That's our Lashon Hara. Why? They're causing people to go astray. So he says, even the time of David HaMelech, what does King David say? King David says, Masnecha Hashem Esna, Udkom Mecha It Koitet. He says, the ones that hate you, I hate. Ones that fight against you, I will fight against. Now, what does this sound like? Sounds like, who is he to hate anybody? Right? Doesn't the Torah say you're not allowed to hate your brother in your heart? True. But if he causes someone to go astray, right? What would be the answer? The answer would be, I can hate the act, I can't hate the person. Right? That would be simple. That would be simple explanation. Right? But there are people that is a mitzvah to hate. Right? The Chinuch brings down, the Chinuch says over here, it's not just about someone who causes someone to go astray by idolatry, by other transgressions. Right? We'll see why. Obviously idolatry is worse. Right? We'll see that in a second. So the Rebbe here points out that not just someone who's a Mesis Avodah Zarah, someone who causes someone to go astray by doing idolatry. That's not the only thing taught here. But anyone who causes people to go astray from the right path. And they cause them damage. It says don't draw them close. Don't attach to them. Stay away from them. Right? And you're allowed to mock them. So what do we learn out? So we learn out, certainly, amazes for Avodah Zarah. For the sake of causing people to go astray, doing idolatry. Right? That's what it seems to be speaking about over here. But comes along the Chinuch. And the Chinuch says, any Aveira. Right? Any transgression. That they cause you to go astray. Because they believe it. They believe that you shouldn't keep it, or whatever the reason is, or it's cruel, or whatever foolish reason they come up with. Not only is there a mitzvah not to listen to them, but you can also make fun of them. You can disgrace them. Right? Because they're fools. But they're causing damage. Right? And none other than King David. King David himself says that those that hate you, I will hate. Now, he's not saying on his own, I should hate people. Right? Obviously, that's wrong. Right? The Torah says clear. You're not allowed to hate your brother in your heart. So, over here, we don't care how they grew up. We don't care what their disposition is. How they came under this bad influence. We're not interested. They are causing people to go astray. If they cause people to go astray, there's a mitzvah to deride them. There's a mitzvah to hate them. Now, it sounds a little bit fanatical. Right? You say, well, what's the big deal? Okay, live and let live. But what are they doing? They're taking Jews and trying to turn them into Christians, to Muslims, to whatever. They're causing people to go astray. Right? So idolatry is 10 times worse. Right? Because what does idolatry do? It says that God doesn't run the world. That there are other forces, God forbid, that have independent power, can do things outside of God, even if they do believe in God. Right? But here they're taking God out of the picture. And they're causing you to go away from Torah. So idolatry, there are many, many transgressions that Torah speaks about. Not making idols, not gold and silver, not bowing down to them, and all these different things. And, people may ask, okay, why can't we be a little bit leftist? Why can't we say, fine, you want to be one God, you want to show your one God, what do you care? People bow down to idols. People bow down to a totem pole. People, do all these things. Right? Because what does the Torah say? What does the Torah say? The Torah says in the book of Exodus, one of the 10 Commandments. Right, let's go back to Exodus chapter 20. Torah says, chapter 20 verse 5, don't prostrate yourself to them, don't worship them, I am Hashem your God, a jealous God. In other words, all about me, God says. I create the world. I run the world. I keep things going. I'm in charge of nature. There's nothing in nature as independent power. You want to go up against me? You want to tell me these other stupid things have power? God says no. The punishment's going to be pretty severe. Alright, so the Torah says God's a jealous God. Oh, what? He's got an ego? God forbid. He thinks he's so great. So what if these other people do this? What? Let God do what he does. They want to do it, fine. There'll be severe punishment. There will be punishment, but say I'm jealous. I don't want it. Why doesn't he want it? Very simple. Not only does it take him out of the picture, ruins the whole purpose of what creation's for. Because God created the world for people to serve him. Whether, a Jew converts, doesn't convert, doesn't matter. A non-Jew still has to serve God as well. But he allows evil to be in the world. He allows people to make the wrong decisions, to go in the wrong way, to do serious transgressions. Okay, people have free will. Person's allowed to have free will. You can make the wrong decision, but realize it's going to be severe punishment. Comes along this verse and says there are things that are worse. Right? Not only you take God out of the picture, but you rebel and cause his chosen people to go astray. You get them to read things they shouldn't read, see things they shouldn't see, as long as they don't serve God. Right? They serve other gods or whatever. Then you're taking them out of what their purpose is. Right? That's not the same as the person goes down his own path. He decides, okay, this isn't for me. I'm going to do what I want. Punishment will be whatever it is. I don't care. I'm going to do what I want, God forbid. And that's it. That's a totally different thing than when you have people out there trying to convince you to do it. If you're doing it on your own, it's one thing. Someone else is causing you to do it and convinces you of something totally different. You didn't ask for it, per se, but they convinced you. They led you down that path. So regardless of what it is, that they led you down the wrong path. And the punishment is pretty severe. King David says that someone who takes a Jew away from God and away from serving him properly, and now he becomes a hater of God. So I hate them. You want to say King David's a fanatic? Okay, we'll call him a fanatic. For lack of a better word. But he's telling you, certainly through divine inspiration, that this is the way to be. Now, most people know, certainly from my videos, we're not trying to be politically correct here. We're searching for truth. We want truth. But in this day and age, it sounds like, a fanatic. People will say, live and let live. What do you care? What's the big deal? So you can have rabbis, quote unquote. It could be Orthodox, could be Reform, could be conservative, doesn't matter. And they help people do perverted things or teach them perverted ways of the Torah. They also have a din of a maces. Right? You tell me maces is really for idolatry. Right? It's only for idolatry. That's our strict definition. But the Chinuch and others say it doesn't necessarily mean for idolatry. It could be anything that takes a person away from God. So if you help somebody go in that direction, the same, or you convince them to go in that direction, let's say better, then this is where it applies. And not only that, since their ways are so perverted, there's no hope for them. You say, what? They can't do tshuva? How is it possible for them not to do tshuva? You can even see by people who have, messed up ideologies. In the end, they could come back. Right? But people like this, they don't normally come back. because they're so involved in what their ideology is, they're willing to die for it. For a lie. This brings up the question of how I look at others that don't think like me. And it's not a small thing, because the way the secular mind works, you got to be open-minded, okay? So he wants to do what he wants to do. You want to do what you want to do. Someone else wants to do what they want to do. Who are you to say it's wrong? Right, so it's a fundamental principle, as I always say. And that is the Torah true or it's not? You want to show me it's not true? Fine, let's have a discussion. But if it is true, I have to uphold it. Have to teach others if I'm able to. Have to give it over the best way possible. The Torah says, don't do this, don't do that. And the Torah is true, I gotta listen. It's God's word. Moshe's not making it up. So based on that, we're forced to say this is God's law. This is what he wants. You want to say God's racist? God forbid. You want to say he's not open-minded? He's not. Because we believe it's absolute truth. Right? I've heard many people say, it's my way, the highway. Right? You want to go my way? Good. You don't? That's your choice. But, either we have to say something's right or it's wrong. How do we know what's right and wrong? Okay, we have a Torah to tell us. It's not just made up. There's oral law. Right? There are a lot of proofs why it's true. That's not the point of this video. The point is that we got to stand up for Torah sometimes. You have to know when. But something like this, you got to have respect. He's quote-unquote a rabbi. But he distorts Torah. Could be Orthodox, doesn't matter. If they distort Torah and they cause people to go astray, they have a din of a maces. It doesn't just mean for idolatry here. They are causing people not to serve God the way God intended. They are telling people to do things that go against the Torah. So not only is it a mitzvah not to listen to them, is the second point. That not only is the mitzvah not to listen to them, it's a mitzvah to deride them. Someone says, what gives you the right to mock them? What gives you the right is Lashon Hara. Right, that'll be the quote. It's Lashon Hara. Now let's take the other side before we answer. The non-Orthodox. How many times they come out and mock the Orthodox? 10 times, 20 times, 50 times, 100 times. They say, well, what do you care? I'm not saying I do. Let them say what they want. See, they have a right, quote unquote, to say what they want, but I don't. Maybe I say it much stronger, much more emphatic, because, certainly we believe it's the truth. We don't want the truth diluted. But it's interesting. The left gets to say whatever they want. Any derogatory statement they want. The right wants to say something. No, you don't have a right to say anything. You're a fanatic. You're closed-minded. And you're not. Right? Someone once told me when I was in college, I'm so much more open-minded than you. I said, really? Let me ask you. What do you think of Reform Judaism? Oh, it's terrible. They're leading people astray. It's not even Judaism, this, that. I said, what about the Orthodox? Oh, they're fanatics. They're totally out there. They're brainwashing people. What about Reconstructionists? Oh, they're this, they're that, going on and on. So I said, what about the conservative Jews? We're doing great. We're the only ones. We're the only ones going in the right direction. So I said, I beg to differ. You claim to be open-minded, you're not open-minded, you're an idiot. Right? You got to look at things at face value. Is it true or it's not true? You got to evaluate the evidence. Get into, I don't like them because they're doing this and that. I don't like them because they're doing this and that. And what I'm doing is great. Right? Our movement is great. Not being open-minded. Right? There's a tremendous problem in the world. Been going on for a while. Nothing new. So you say, well, they also hold, right? The leftists will also hold my way the highway. They'll be pretty violent about it also. So they'll say, I have a right to believe what I want. That's true. But I also have a right. That's about as far as it goes. Because they say, well, Leviticus chapter 18, Torah's against homosexuality. Oh, you're a fanatic. Is the Torah true or it's not true? I don't have a right to my opinion. Anyone who performs same-sex marriage is a big problem. I don't have a right to come out against it. That's not calling names, other things. Oh, where's the open-mindedness? They can ruin Judaism. They can say intermarriage is okay. They can say whatever they want, and you have no right. Right? You as an Orthodox Jew, they already put you in a corner. Right? They already tell you you're a fanatic, you're closed-minded, you're all these different things. You want to have a discussion? Let's have a discussion. Let's have an open discussion. But you're not willing. Right? Well, you're not willing. You tell me it's my way, the highway. Yeah, but I got proof that I'm right. A lot of proof. Not about being open-minded. Right? Torah's not telling me things that, when I live my life, that life is fair. Life's not about being fair. Life is the way God sees it. He judges the way He sees it. We may not understand it, but there's reward and punishment. Right? And sometimes maybe I'll get punished because that's what my soul has to go through. Right? From previous life and reincarnation and all that. Doesn't matter. Yesh din v'yesh dayin. There's law, there's a judge, right? There's a judge, there's judgment, etc. We can get into a discussion in all this. We can hash it out. But see, it never really goes that far because you're talking in different parameters. Right? You're talking about apples and oranges. That has nothing to do with being closed-minded. You think you're right and I think I'm right. Are we closed-minded? Well, let's see. I'm looking at things one way. You're looking at things totally different way. There are people more closed-minded in different ways. Right? Not the topic for this discussion. Nonetheless, we have the right, because these people are taking Jews away from serving God. We have an absolute right to mock them, scorn them, make fun of them, for one very simple reason. Because of the damage that they cause. And to make sure people beyond the shadow of a doubt will not go after them. We can show the foolishness of their ways. That's not Lashon Hara. Chofetz Chaim states clear, it's not Lashon Hara. Because people have to be warned. They have to show the flaws and the stupidity in it in order that people shouldn't go after it. Because we never want to lose any Jews. Jews are precious to God. Jews are the chosen nation. Someone comes along, wants to take those Jews, even if they're Jews themselves, away from how God set up what He wants, that's pretty bad. So we got to show the foolishness of their ways. It's a mitzvah to mock them. Someone recently, said to me that, got to be more open-minded. If we'd be more of a light, we'd be able to draw people close. So there's a way to do it. Right? There's definitely a way to reach out. I spoke about last week's Parsha. But where do you draw the line? Should I recognize someone who's a perversion to Torah? Or they're causing it to happen. They're sanctifying it, saying it's okay. Someone like that, Rabbi, quote unquote, does a same-sex marriage. I have to respect that? Why do I have to respect it? No reason to respect it. So where's the common ground? Yeah, we believe we're right beyond the shadow of a doubt. I have to lower my standard, lower my level by acknowledging what this moron's doing. No mitzvah in that. None whatsoever. That's the whole problem, with giving them a pedestal. That you can't have an organization that's got Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox together, rabbinic authorities, etc. I mean, these other groups are not rabbinic, in any way, because they just do what they want. But where's the common ground? Why should I even think there is common ground? Why should I acknowledge them? They're causing people to go astray. They want people to stay ignorant. They want to flush Judaism down the toilet, which they're doing a good job. So why is it, if I want to draw people closer, there's this divisiveness. You're right. But it's because we believe we have the truth. They're not interested in listening. They're distorting. You don't have common ground. You're not in the same parameter. It's like talking to someone who loves chocolate about convincing them to eat vanilla. He likes chocolate. You're not interested in vanilla. He's not interested in Rocky Road. You're not interested in strawberry, pistachio. You cannot convince him. There's no point. Well, maybe you didn't do it the right way. Maybe. But those are their taste buds. Taste buds don't all of a sudden change. He said, I don't like it. I don't like strawberry. I don't like coffee ice cream. I like chocolate. Finished. Why in the world are you going to try and convince him? Alright, maybe not a good example. But their philosophy is krum. It's heretical. I have to like it. I have to tolerate it. Look at the rhetoric on the other side. They tolerate me? You tolerate what I think? I don't think so. What about family? Forget about rabbis. Movements. Person becomes a Baal Tshuva, let's say. Becomes an Orthodox Jew from being a conservative Jew. What's the family? Oh, you're different. You change, you're not the same. They make fun, they scoff. It's like you don't have an opinion. It's like you're worthless. You're useless. You don't do what we do anymore. Like you used to be. So you say, well, I found the truth. You interested? No, they just make fun. I understand why they make fun. It's a whole different story. Where's the open-mindedness? And if you don't adhere or say what they do is okay, then you're scum of the earth. I don't know, I have to listen to you. There's intolerance. Certainly on the other side, tremendous amount of intolerance. You go, oh, but you're intolerant. See, it's not about a feeling. It's where people make the mistake. It's not about what I feel. King David says in Psalms, it's not about what I feel. He says, those that hate you, I hate. What does that mean? It means very simple. They're going against what you want, God. They're going against what the Torah says. Your interpretation. Fine. My interpretation. The rabbi's interpretation. You're going against Judaism 100%. So I'm supposed to sit there and smile? And say, okay, that's alright. What you do is okay. Moral relativism. Is that what the Torah says here? The Torah says you don't listen to them. You don't cover them up. Fight against them. You make fun of them. You scoff at them. To show what they're doing is false. You're going to say, well, it's a little bit harsh. It's intolerant, okay? Torah's intolerant. You go further in the Parsha, what does it speak about? Kosher animals. Non-kosher animals. It's a decree. Just like the entire Torah is a decree. Maybe they were anti-pig. Maybe. We're anti-mixing milk and meat. Yes. Maybe we're anti-other animals. Yes. But again, God said to Moshe, tell them, this you're allowed to eat, this you're not allowed to eat. It's a decree. God's telling you this is a terrible thing. You know, it's so bad that anyone causes anyone go to astray in any other transgressions. The Chinuch says. Not just idolatry. Idolatry is pretty bad. We agree. You know, someone causes someone else to speak Lashon Hara. I have to hate the person if he's a habitual speaker. That's what it sounds like. Cause him to eat non-kosher food. Puts pressure on him to do transgressions. That's what we're talking about. No mitzvah to love them, even if they're family. Even if, God forbid, they're your parents. Still got to be somewhat respectful if they're your parents. But they're fighting against God. King David said, fight against God, I'm going to fight against you. We're not here to be politically correct. We understand. But the truth is the truth. And you got to live what the truth is. And we got to speak out. We got to be vocal. And make it known that these things are heretical and they're foolish. Because it's very easy to get caught up in it. I mean, it is interesting. You know, in academia, what does all academia hold by? Evolution. That doesn't make sense according to the Torah, evolution at all. But why does academia hold by it so strong even though it's never been proven? Very simple. What's your choice if you don't believe in evolution? Bible must be true. Story creation must be true. Oh, can't say that. Say, oh, you live in the medieval times. You're brainwashed. It's all about a leap of faith. Science hasn't proven it. Not even close. And all their intellect and all their knowledge haven't come close to proving it. So who's closed-minded over here? You can have a leap of faith over there, that's for sure. So you tell me it goes both ways. You know, the Torah doesn't budge. Torah doesn't change. And I've had a number of people tell me, yeah, when it comes to conversion, we have to make it easier. We certainly have to make it easier for people. Who says? It's hard for a reason. We make it too easy. Let anybody in. It's game over. We're not interested in converts. You can all drop dead. Doesn't matter. You want to convert. You end up converting. It's irrelevant. We're not looking for converts. You want to come in? Okay, you'll do what we tell you to do. Even if it's hard. You don't come in with claims. I want this. I want that. Doesn't make sense by any other religion. You want to come into Christianity that way. Oh, you ain't putting water on me. They're going to laugh at you. You go to the Muslims, they'll say, we're going to kill you. You're an infidel. You don't make conditions. But this is what happens. The people come up with crazy ideas. Why the Torah may not be true. Try and convince others. You know, in their warped minds. And perpetuate a lie. But then, what does that do? And why is it so bad, as we mentioned? It dilutes Torah. You know, hasn't the Torah been diluted enough? Hasn't been this idea that, okay, I want to give my kids some sort of Jewish education. God forbid it should be Orthodox. Give them something. Because I want them to know by something. I don't want to be a fanatic. I don't want to go crazy over it. Give them something. What you're giving them is a travesty of a mockery of a sham. And you're perpetuating that with others. If you do, that's how this applies. So it's interesting, the Chinuch says, not just about idolatry. Anyone who takes anyone away from Torah in proper observance, you fall under this category. It could be individuals, could be movements. Could be the heads of movements. It's an unbelievably severe thing. That, we take responsibility, but, if you're bent on, saving Jews, meaning that you're going to save them from the Orthodox and being brainwashed and all this, it means you know nothing. You know nothing about what Torah is. Because if you really knew what Torah was, and you know it's true, how could you say such a thing? You say, I have doubts in Amunah. I have doubts in my faith in God and belief in God. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can work it out. A lot of people have a lot of different issues. So when it comes to Jewish philosophy. But that's a reason to say, wow, it can't be the Torah is true. And I'm going to show other people the same thing. I'm going to cause them to go astray. Who gives you the right? Say, I have free will. You're right. Everybody has free will. But free will comes at a price. Comes at a price that, God has the ability to reward and punish. But there are times the Torah is going to tell us, like in this case, you do not show mercy. You do not show pity. You do this because it's what God wants. Now we're trying to understand why. It'd be very easy to say, well, it's a decree. Yeah. The entire Torah is a decree. But then when you're causing people to rip Torah out of them, kind of like what happened here in Israel when the Yemenites came. And they took the children away from the parents, cut off their payas, destroyed them spiritually. This is what we're talking about. Don't go in their old ways. We're new Israelis. We're this. And, Torah's not true. It was never true. And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they went to another degree. Kidnap people. Kidnap children. And make sure they don't learn anything about Torah. This is what we're talking about. I have to imagine Jews doing it against other Jews. What happened to live and let live? I mean, here in Israel recently, someone wanted to have a concert in a certain place. They wanted separate seating and it got struck down. One event. The people coming want separate seating. How can you come and overturn that? How can the Supreme Court say you don't have any rights? If it was a Muslim concert and they wanted to do that, they wouldn't stop them. They'd be afraid to stop them. But Orthodox Jews want to have a separate seating concert? Who cares? No secular people come. Not for them. It's for us. It would be a secular group that want a woman singing. Let them do what they want. Right? It's their free choice. We don't have free choice here. We should get discriminated against on having the people coming to the concert are people from our group, from our camp. Well, what are you afraid of? You're going to convince the entire town to come? All of a sudden, it's going to be run by Jewish law? That's what you're worried about, what's going to happen? Well, how do you not have rights? Boggles the mind. We're so open-minded. We're so democratic, sure. Right? It's open-minded until your brains fall on the floor. Right? That you allow, all these other crazy things. Orthodox Jews want to have their own concert, separate seating? Strike it down because secularists don't want it? It's crazy. Be one thing if there was a concert, a woman singing, no doubt, mixed, a mixed crowd, and let's say there'd be dancing or whatever. These Orthodox Jews come and say, no, shut it down. We're offended. You're going to even listen to them? This is what we're talking about. Others causing others to transgress or to go astray. It's all live and let live. They're ruining something sacred. They're taking the Torah, ripping it up, and writing it in their own way. What they think. Who cares what they think? Not interested in what they think. The Torah is divine. The Torah is written by God. Doesn't give you the right, as the Torah says here. You're not allowed to change it. Not allowed to add to it. Not allowed to subtract from it. Certainly not allowed to let others go astray from it or cause them to go astray. Who gives me the right to do that? I mean, I would think the punishment should be pretty severe. You got free will, big deal. There's gonna be payback. The one thing, as we mentioned, someone does it to themselves. You do it to yourself, keep your mouth shut. Fine. You want to do this? Good. Do whatever you want. There will be a price to pay. True. But you want to cause others? You believe in it so much, you want to cause others? God says Ad Kan. That's it. You want to do that, then I want my people that hold by me, that do what I say, I want them to come out and mock you. I want them to say, we're not going to have pity on you. You brought it upon yourself. You're the ones taking people away from me. I didn't give you the right to do that. You chose it, okay? Not what I want. Not what I'm interested in. You did that. I don't need to be open-minded. I don't need to be tolerant. Right? Torah certainly tells me not that way. And you got a problem with that? You say the Torah doesn't budge. Torah's intolerant. Fine. But it should be. Because when you open up a Pandora's box and you do what you want, we know what the end result is. That end result is what is a disaster. So, anyone, I want to remind people that I have 2 question and answer sessions, usually every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning, New York time. That's done on Facebook and on Zoom. I have a class on duties of the heart every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock New York time, and that is, we're speaking about faith in God and how livelihood works and all that. Very interesting. Very interesting. I have conversion classes twice a week as well. So anyone interested in any of these things, you can contact me on Facebook, Beyond Orthodox Conversion and Judaism. You can contact me by my email, rabbichaimkaufman@gmail.com, RABBICHAIMCOFFMAN @gmail.com. Wishing everyone a great Shabbos.